It's from the 6/16 meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from 6/16 of 2026.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Schilling.
Yes.
Project.
Yes.
Keel.
Yes.
Bowen.
Yes.
Carlson.
Yes.
No bills, Karen?
No bills.
We'd like that.
All right, public comment, anything that's not on the agenda? Limit of 5 minutes.
Adam Morehouse, Crooks, was here 4 weeks ago. I know you said, Mayor, you're gonna talk to your engineer about it. I haven't heard nothing from it, so just wondering what's the status, are we gonna do something about it?
Did you not get a letter from our attorney?
No. About what?
You did not get a letter from our attorney
About what?
about this issue?
Well, what about it, I guess?
That we've been up there and looked at it several times, and our engineers have concluded that there is nothing that we have done wrong. The plan that Black Tie submitted was to the specs, and we're not going to change the retention pond or anything. It's in.
I'll try and find it and get it printed out.
Well, that's kind of surprising if you didn't get that. It's dated June 30th. That's a week ago.
I've had checks lost in the mail for 2 months.
That's not great sometimes.
I don't know.
Do we have your right address? 47016, 256th Street, Crooks?
Yep.
57020? 020? Yep.
So it's a done deal then?
Yeah, that, I mean, when we stated in the letter, and really the conclusion when it comes to the end, if you want, I can just probably, this is the last paragraph. City has done all that it can do. You don't agree with the engineer, this is Tom writing this, sorry, so I'm reading this in second person, or third person. Their engineers and their findings and conclusions, and there is nothing the city can do about that. Nonetheless, the city wants you aware that they have addressed this issue multiple times and will not address it further unless there is engineer verified documentation to counter the city's engineers and their conclusions. No further response will be forthcoming from the city. That's the last paragraph of the letter.
Well, I don't know, tell you, I'm getting flooded out every year. I gave Justin my yield maps and stuff to show him. That's what he wanted, and I showed him that for the last 6 years. We talked to Justin out there with Thad Stafford about it. He issued the same thing. He said the same thing, concerns I had. All right, then. I guess that's it, then. I guess I'll have to live with it.
Thank you. All right, next up, oh, we got one more. Julie, say who you are, please.
Julie Anderson. I have a couple questions. One is, I had texted you about the mosquito thing, and I literally have not planted the rest of my garden yet because the mosquitoes are practically eating me alive. I've seen on Hartford happening, a lot of people posting. I called down, I don't know who I talked to. Their comment was, yes, we've been spraying. And I said, on Mary Lane? Well, she didn't know. I mean, Sioux Falls actually has a website you can go to, you can punch in, and it tells you when and where you've been. I don't know why we waited. When I texted you after that meeting, you said they were gonna start.
They were spraying. They've been spraying, Julie. What do you want me to tell you? Do you want me to follow them around and make sure they come to your street?
But maybe they should have started earlier. I mean, we actually had Jamboree Days in town, and after the week before.
I don't like losing my sense of humor over this stuff. We don't have millions of dollars to have a website and track our,
Yep, so
but
I'm
we
gonna
can,
throw in one thing here, Mayor. So the city has been spraying. I've got mosquitoes at my house. I hired a pest control company to come out and take care of those. I've got a person, you can, my number's on the city council website. And he put up these buckets, okay, that he sets them up in my yard. I don't even really see them. I think he's got 1 or 2 set up. He checks them every month. And they take care of the mosquito issue. So the idea that if you have mosquitoes on your yard, that's your property. It's up to, in my political or in my philosophy, it's up to you to take care of that problem. Now, if you go back to 2 or 3 years ago, the federal government used to give money, okay, to communities. There was grants that we kind of were in partnership with the city of Sioux Falls that ended with the Trump administration. Okay, so if you have a mosquito issue on your property, my opinion is it's your problem, just as much as it's my problem, to pay and take care of them, okay? So, but these buckets we put up, they weren't spraying for them, so there's no like major chemical thing. It was cost effective, it was affordable, and it seems to have worked if you ask, you know, and my wife is like the anti-bug person. Go ahead, Craig.
I was just gonna say, when we spray at nights, everything's documented, the roads that we drive down are documented. The spray is only gonna kill bugs that are flying at night. If they're in the grass, it will not get them.
Yeah.
Well, this is the worst they've ever been. I mean,
Well, I disagree with that. I disagree with that.
On Mary Lane and they go by on 38. I mean, I see and hear them go. I have not seen or heard them once.
I don't have
I've
them
not
over,
seen
so I
them
live on
go.
6th Street, just like 2 blocks from
Okay.
Mary Lane.
Okay,
I have no mosquitoes on my property.
good.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that this is not a city issue. If it's on your property, that is for you to handle, but I can give you a really good recommendation, a cost-effective solution to fix that.
You want me to call you, text you?
Yep, my number's on the website. You go on there, you text me, or call me, and it goes through a thing, but I will get you that person's number,
Great.
and they will get something set up, and it takes a couple weeks for it to take effect,
I'm sure it's not
but
overnight.
it does work,
Great.
okay?
Okay, you said you had 2, what's the other?
Yeah, the other thing is, and Alex will maybe address this, but the fireworks thing, I actually ended up calling in because they were shooting fireworks all through the night, of which I will say, when I called, within 45 minutes, I assumed somebody must have gone and talked to them, or maybe they just quit on their own. But I'm curious why there's some ordinances we feel we need to abide by, and other ones we let go. But like I said, Alex might be talking about it, so it's bad timing that I'm talking before he is. So,
All right.
and I do commend them for 45 minutes later at stopping, whether it was because of somebody talking to them or on their own, I don't know, but it did end.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Julie.
All right, anybody else? Let's move to applications, agreements, hearings, resolutions, and ordinances. We have second reading of ordinance 772. No changes from first reading? Any action? This is the change from residential to residential high density up behind Western Meadows, or in Western Meadows.
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading of the rezoning ordinance number 772.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Carlson?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Parachek?
Yes.
Schilling?
Yes.
All right, let's move to reports. Alex, you're first up.
All right.
Minnehaha County Sheriff's Report.
I like the structure of this, like the heading with the sheriff's office, that's a little different.
So here's the deal with that. I'm trying something different. It's going to take me a little while to get it just the way I want it. There's on a few pages here. I kind of got a scroll here that, I don't know.
Yeah, we did too when we read it.
I know,
Yeah.
it's goofy.
Yeah.
I know. I will condense this. So.
Looks like you guys have been significantly busier.
So, well, here, I'll explain this here. So, just to go over some of the things that, the significant stuff that we had. Since I'm in town, I've been going after some different warrant suspects that we have in town here. We've gotten quite a few. Traffic stops were down, and I'll explain that here too, to 24 from last month. I think it was 46. Accidents stayed about the same at 6. As far as we know, we didn't have any crazy injury accidents or anything like that. We've been checking the bathrooms in the city parks every single night. We have 28 check securities in parks for the bathrooms, making sure there's no vandalism there. So page 2 of my scroll. There was a DWI arrest that was made in town here. Juvenile delinquency's going up just a little bit, just because it's middle of summer here. Parking violations I've been getting after. One of those turned into a warrant service. And we had a few burglaries and a couple of stolen vehicles in town as well. The total number of calls was 223 just in the city. The way that our dispatch works, it's very particular on where the calls are, and it'll code it either the city or the county around Sioux Falls. So when I put my map out a little farther for the greater Hartford area, things that I still respond to, call numbers went up to 446, literally double that. So we've been very busy with that. I think our number of traffic stops just around town went up to 68 from 24. So we're significantly more busy, being that it's July now, or it was June, and we're coming into summer. Julie, as far as the ordinance stuff goes, I was not working on the 4th, but I can say they were extremely busy with those fireworks calls, and I'm sure it took our deputy a while to get around to dealing with that, but yes, I received a few complaints myself that it took a while to get those calmed down that night, but.
I know in Sioux Falls, they had over 300
Yeah, I
calls.
saw that on the news.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but I know just talking to my partners, it was a very, very busy day and night for those guys, so, yeah. But, yeah, that is what I got for you.
How about scooters, little mini bikes,
Oh, yeah.
all that good
Yeah,
stuff?
So
What do you got?
those are going into, I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna classify those in my report here.
Yeah.
So I have them right now, I have a few of them under traffic. I did a few traffic stops, and then I also have them under, I believe it was traffic hazard.
Hazard, yeah.
Is what I'm starting to call them now.
Yeah.
And I had several of those that I actually called out on. A majority of those kids, I'm just stopping out at the park and at the middle school during the day. And when I see them riding around and telling them, we have to stop this, you know, you gotta be careful because we're getting tons of complaints I'm going through.
Yeah.
And I've been talking to several parents, a couple of parents were not so happy that I was talking to them about it, but that said, it's probably better than having your kid get hit by a car.
Right.
So.
Yep.
I have to say that I had a phone call from someone, and they were like, I'm watching the deputy right now talk to kids about the scooters, made double riders get off, and they were so happy.
Yeah.
They were like, it is so good to see. They were, and I said, well, it's a difficult balance. that
It
we
is,
have.
it's been a tough one. I think the golf cart stuff is starting to calm down a little bit anyways, but the scooters and the e-motos are the ones that I'm having a big issue with because they go as fast as a car. When
Yeah.
these parents are buying these for the kids, on the box, it doesn't sit, there's no regulations on them, it's just take it out of the box, you put a couple wheels on it, and you're off. And these parents don't realize that those are illegal for anybody who doesn't have a driver's license to ride.
Right.
And they have to have, depending on how big they are, they have to have registration. The riders at least have to have a driver's license, wear a helmet if they're under 18, eye protection, all that. And I've gotten several of those where I haven't seen the kids ride them again. But yeah, it's been a challenge for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the alternative, we don't want to have a
Exactly.
catastrophe, man, that would just.
Absolutely. Yep.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I know.
And
It's gonna
that's-
happen.
Yeah, and
But
that is. yeah,
if we can,
Maybe we gotta get a few deputies, I can set something up, we can get a few deputies and do a little saturation out here for the scooters and the bikes, I mean, whatever we gotta do.
So I got a question, and I know we've talked, you know, it's kind of interesting, because I've been here for 3 years. 3 years ago, this was not an issue. It did not become an issue until about a year ago. It seems like where these things,
yeah.
was it a year or two ago, maybe, where these things became?
5 years ago.
Really?
Oh, gosh, it's been an issue.
Yeah,
for a
they've
while.
been here, but they really, I think the numbers.
It's really
have
picked up in the
ramped
last
up.
couple of
It's picked up,
years.
Yeah.
I think they're more affordable now.
Yep.
like.
Yeah, you're right.
You know?
So my understanding, and I have to be reminded on this, because all my neighbor kids, I got 3 neighbor kids, they all have them, and that's fine, and they're relatively safe. They don't wear helmets, but that's not my job, to tell them to wear helmets. But it's my understanding that legally, these scooters cannot be on the road.
So, there's legislature on that. The scooters, in a lot of law enforcement eyes, are considered motor vehicles.
Yep.
They're actually not considered motor vehicles. They are their own classification called electric motor scooters.
So take an electric bike, they can be on the road if they want. Okay.
Legally speaking, yes, they can.
Okay.
They have to stop at the stop signs. They have to be on the right side of the road. They can't
Yep.
be zipping in and out of traffic like they're doing. So,
Okay, so one more thing, and you brought up an interesting point, and I think it would be good, and I'm not saying like every month, but maybe, and I'd be curious on the council's opinion on this, of course, like 3 or 4 times a year, it'd be nice to see a map of just Hartford, of the city,
Yep.
and maybe with your software, you can pull this up of where are the most calls coming from, I think I know.
Yep.
So I'm not saying every month, but maybe just once every
Yeah.
3 or 4 months.
absolutely.
With the report, you have a map pulled up, it shows those
Yeah.
bullet points of where,
A heat map?
a heat map,
Sure.
you know? It'd be cool to be able to see some other data, like this is good.
Yeah, this is very confusing to read. I'm not used to looking at
Yep.
what it is. Yeah, I'm gonna get our software, one of our IT guys is gonna help me, and we're gonna, like I said, we'll condense this down.
Cool,
Yeah.
thank you.
So, yeah.
All right, anybody got any questions for Alex?
Could we get some undercover kids maybe to, you know,
Let's deputize some
be
kids.
good influences on these hooligans?
I wish, yeah. Yeah, I've been telling them, you tell all your buddies that the rules, you
Yeah.
know? So,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right,
Hopefully that'll subside here. I can get a couple of my guys out and
good enough.
do some stuff. So.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
appreciate it. All right, Michael, you got here just in time. You rushed from your other meeting.
Probably got a speeding ticket.
Well, you should. Good timing. I bet he didn't stop at the stop sign either. I'm just guessing.
Stop at every stop sign.
All right, we'll go to the city engineer report. Michael, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Report is in your packet. On a general engineering update, you have that stormwater retention memo that we'll talk about in a little bit, and then continue to review site plans and plats as they come in. On the project update, Western Avenue, I've been coordinating with the contractor to get that project closed out. Do have all the quantities from them, get everything coordinated, and expect the final pay-up and change order at the next council meeting. On the Mickelson Road shared use path, continue to work with the state and some adjacent landowners just on shifting the trail, giving us some more space between the roads, some more separation there, so we'll keep moving there. We'll skip Kelly Avenue for now. On the Root Lane and Diamond Trail intersection, I did provide those 60% plans at the last meeting, as well as the cost estimate for the 60%. Since then, have received the geotech report. As I noted at the last council meeting, what we had estimated in the plans and that opinion of probable cost was based on city standards. After geotech came back, it was noted that the soil would be able to reduce that section slightly, albeit there were areas that the geotech was a little concerned there might be some poor subsoils, just some fat clays there that are susceptible to frost heave. So we've got some additional areas of over excavation and replacement with some additional granular material included in the plans to account for those, similar to what occurred on Western Avenue south of Oval. In addition, just provide an update on the budget. So Sean, you noted during the Winterbone for design proposal, you know that it increased by
33 is over 30%.
30%, yeah, although it was only, $10,000, but percentage-wise, it was a significant amount. So looking at that, our construction estimate in the capital improvement plan was about $250,000, whereas the 60% progress set was about $390,000. Couple notes in there just on what had changed, one of which was the water main, which was a direct result of the citywide water model identified that section of pipe as being 8-inch. Since that is part of the run of pipe that would serve south of the interstate and the rest of it is 12-inch, saw this as an opportunity to upsize that just to ensure that pipe has the maximum capacity when that area to the south develops, on top of, not wanting to tear up a brand new road, new intersection to replace those utilities. And then the second item, about $40,000 increased cost, just talking with Craig and Teresa, our original capital improvement plan estimate just went to the south side of the inlets on the north side of the intersection. Just talking with them with some of the patching and cracking that had gone on there, I saw it as an opportunity just to extend it to the north. Those aprons into those inlets are in pretty rough shape. There's some exposed rebar. Discussion was had and kind of decided to add it to the plans as since we're in there doing the work. And I believe it would be efficient to do so.
I support these increases. I mean, it's not sexy.
No.
But it's, there's definitely a water issue there, so it's necessary.
That'll be ready to go to bid here shortly.
Shortly, yep. So kind of looking for council's buy-in on this, just make sure, scope is good before we finalize the plans with the increased traffic. Sounds like you're on board. Is there any opposition to the increased scope there? I do know that if it is constructed this year, it was not in this year's city budget. It was planned for construction next year, just for council's awareness.
Right.
I know, it would be my opinion, unless the market's changed, that there's some opportunity maybe to, if we can get it out there, to get it done and get it done below the cost estimate even.
Yep.
I would love that, yes. Yeah.
Yep.
So, I think, in my opinion, time is of the essence, and
Right.
let's get it done. That's my 2 cents.
Because if there was ever a time when we were maybe at a spot where we can do it right now, if we could find somebody that would be willing to give us a favorable bid, this would be a time to get it done. Yep.
One last thing I will note on that is we're going to get televising information of the sewer, just once again, similar to the water main, just make sure that the sewer is in good shape. Need to discuss that with the city. This Thursday at our meeting, televising quote came in a little higher than anticipated. But
You said televising?
Yes. So
Okay,
they-
what does that mean?
Yes, sorry. I'll back up. So first they clean the sewer, so everything's clean, we can see better, and then they basically have a little RC car with the camera on it, 360 camera, they drive it down the pipe, and we watch the videos and check if there's any defects in the pipe.
Wow.
At the same time, we're gonna have them do the clay pipes we have in town, just to make sure that they're still holding together, so we can find an issue, make sure we can keep it on our CIP for down the road and that stuff, so just examine them at the same time.
So just noting that, because should we find any issues there, I would hope not, considering, I don't think we will, but that sewer was installed 10 years ago. But just want to verify, and make sure. That would be a little bit out of scope, a little bit of extra time needed, but I still think it's a relatively small project. Contractors can knock it out fairly quickly. So.
On that, how far do we have to extend the 12, and maybe you said this, but that 12-inch water main, how far north does it have to go?
So it's from the intersection of Diamond and Root.
Which is like the intersection that runs by Tam and Oil, right? The gas
Yes.
station?
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
And then south to the Root Trail and Root Lane intersection. So it's 300 some feet.
Okay. And there's no reason to bring that north at all?
No, to the north it's 8-inch, and that is, based on the water study, that's more than adequate to serve that residential area.
Okay.
So based on your dates there, Michael, it looks like you're going to have the final design done mid-month, so I'm assuming by the next meeting in July, you'll be ready to give that to us to approve it for bid. Is that the plan?
That is our goal, yes. Like I said, if televising comes back and we need to add some sanitary, that may shift it a week or two, or
Okay.
till the first meeting in August. But generally, I would say the schedule is within a week or two.
Right.
Yep.
Perfect.
How much money do we have in our water? I know we have that Obviously, this is a significant underground utility upgrade, so I'll be curious, is there money in
2.4
that?
million,
What's
yes.
that?
2.4 million.
Okay, so we can obviously utilize some of that, or I don't know how much of that is spoken for, but it's not in our
I was gonna say,
budget.
that's gotta cover O&M till the end of the year, what
Yep.
we have budgeted, but I would think there's plenty to absorb this extra cost.
I think we're in great shape right now, Sean.
Okay.
And like I said, you know.
Short answer to your
Now would
question.
be the time when we got it tore up to
Correct.
do that upsizing versus then we're ready to go, like I said, when and if we need to go to the south.
All right. So we don't need any action tonight, but I would assume at the next meeting.
Just awareness and general
Yep.
acceptance of the added scope of the CIP. Yep.
Yep, okay.
I guess I will circle back. I was late because I was talking with the township, just have a few developments on the fringes of town, along township roads, and just wanted to get in front of them, talk about future city utilities within those right-of-ways, just as we look ahead, want to make sure we don't assume it can go in the right-of-way, and then township, for whatever reason, says, no, it's got to go outside our right-of-way, then we'd have to go get easements from all those landowners. So meeting generally went well, and they just asked to be kept in the loop as some of those development requests come in, so I think it was a successful meeting.
Awesome. All right, you had a couple other items on there you wanted to talk about. First one was the landscaping options for our new lift station.
Correct. So our, following council's request, our landscape architect pulled together the attached plan, which I believe is in your packet,
Yeah.
primarily to provide some screening behind the Hartford sign from the lift station. So this, got some photos out there, they did a nice little photo, and a nice Photoshop job. And got a quote from Smith Family Farms. They're the ones who provide all the boulevard trees in the city. So talking with them, some of the cost, I'm not sure, Teresa, where the cost was expected to be. I know some of the trees were perhaps a little spendier than anticipated. Some of that is truly due to inventory. You can't just go and get a 6-foot tree. It's got to be a few years old. Had our landscapers talk about some alternates to some of those more expensive items. Based on what they currently have, they're just concerned of some of those alternates, either attracting deer and then you end up with, they called it a lollipop tree. Or, the tree wouldn't be as wide, wouldn't screen it, and you'd be able to see the lift station, between the rows of them. So, we can certainly follow up with them and continue to look for
So
alternates.
the cost estimate, just so you know,
Is,
came in at $9,824.
For
what?
the trees in this little.
Proposed, for this landscaping proposed with these trees.
Just the trees, yeah.
And that does not include any landscaping rock, right?
Correct, yes.
So this is just the trees
yes.
and the
I'm looking
shrubbery.
at myself, I apologize.
So
I think it's
some of the
kinda high.
trees are over $900 a piece.
So would we do the landscaping ourselves? I mean, we do a lot of things ourselves. We build sheds, we build.
So,
No, I mean, it's a serious,
I know.
I mean, I can landscape,
so the.
not very
estimate-
well, but
The estimate does include installation plus a 1-year warranty.
what's the price? Because I'm not seeing any of these prices.
Oh, yeah, she just
Well,
gave
we
it.
just got
There you
it.
go.
Oh, so the
We
9,000
can
was
have it on
installation
Friday
and
or on
trees.
Thursday.
Yeah.
That's putting the trees in, but not the rock.
Right.
Yeah, so what it includes is purchase, delivery, install, and a 1-year warranty for all the plants that they would provide and install. And then as well as a chemical treatment to remove undesirable foliage and backfill with new soil. That's taken straight from the quote.
So that's just short of 10 grand, you're saying?
Yeah, like I said, we'd still have to do any landscaping, mortar, or rock, so you're probably looking at 10 grand.
Minimum 10 grand.
I honestly don't think that that's too out of line when I go to landscaping and, I mean, we just did some landscaping in our backyard and it's outrageous. I guess I don't, for this size of trees, I guess I wouldn't have thought any less personally.
Well, if we were gonna take an area with one of our welcome to live lively signs and doll it up, that would probably be that one or the one out here by the, coming off the interstate, which is kind of in a tougher position to do this. The nice thing with this is, we own the land, right? We can do basically where we have the other signs, we're basically in somebody's right of way or in a,
We just got
In
an
a-
easement.
yeah,
The only question I've got, driving that every day,
yeah.
is where are you gonna stop seeing it, and where are you gonna start seeing it again? Because you're coming around that curve,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's gonna be 300 yards that you're not gonna see anything, and then all of a sudden, there it is again, and then, coming from the other direction, you're gonna see it all the time.
right.
So, I mean, if you're trying to hide it, how long are you gonna have
Oh,
that?
sure, yeah, I get it, yeah. Oh, right there. You got to scroll over, see this line down there below, and just move that over and you'll see that. There you go.
Oh, gotcha.
I didn't know that till a couple meetings ago, I don't think.
I mean, I agree with you, Michelle. So this estimate is for the trees, the install of the trees, 1-year warranty, and then it's up to us to secure our own, landscaping border and rock, right? Am I understanding this correct? So you're gonna have probably 15 grand into, I mean, if we contract that out, I mean, if we find somebody who's gonna come in and put rock or you're gonna have more than likely 15 grand into it. I personally, I don't know enough about landscaping and like what it costs for trees. I haven't done that stuff, but it would be nice to, if we knew a few landscapers that were local or semi-locally, just come and have them give bids to what we're looking at doing. So we have something, because right now I don't know what to compare it to. All I have is this one estimate, this one
Right.
provider of trees. I don't know anything else than that's their cost. So I know that there's at least one person I know who runs somewhat of a local company, and so I would like to, before we make any, thumbs up or thumbs down, it'd be nice to see a couple other people to come in and give a price for the whole entire thing, for landscaping rock, the edging, trees, all of that. That's where I'm kind of at.
I'll take a different approach.
Okay.
Yeah, to your point, Craig, it's really not for the benefit of the people leaving Hartford, but it sure makes a nice presentation if you're coming into Hartford.
Right.
I had a similar sized landscaping project, cost $3,500 like 6 years ago, and that's without $900 trees. And so it does present a nice screening wall. We, as a council, have done a lot of necessity things for the community. This would be certainly a nicety.
Yeah.
I think it sets kind of a nice tone for Hartford. You come in that way, it looks nice. And so I would propose that we allocate a budget amount, an amount that we're not to exceed amount, and then, then encourage it to be put out for bids, and then we can select.
Yeah, I'm in favor of that. Yep.
Is that sign lit?
Yes.
Okay.
Very well lit.
Yeah, too much.
Sometimes right in your eyes if you're driving.
Once you get the landscaping done, then you won't see it.
Here's a dumb question. First and foremost, I like that idea. Your typical landscaping company who is not, who isn't growing those trees, can they still get the warranty? Can they? Okay, because I didn't know if it's, hey, we supplied the trees, you only get the warranty if you install them, but those landscapers should be able to get that as well. Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
And the pricing.
Like
you
I
tell us
get
from Mike,
warranty on my
right?
perennials, all the perennials
I
that I
guess you're
just
right.
bought at Landscape Garden.
Okay,
I received a 3-year warranty. on
Okay.
Many of them, so.
yeah, I think we should put it out to bid and see what happens.
So Just making a motion to be the way you'd like to see us proceed. I make a motion to approve up to $12,000, not to exceed $12,000 for landscaping improvements along Highway 38 near the lift station.
And that's for all-inclusive rock edging, or is that just,
As for the
As
landscaping
per the plan.
proposal as presented.
okay.
Do we really want the trees though? Could we eliminate the trees and just do bushes? Would that save us, I mean, maybe get, like,
That generator stands about 8 foot above grade, it looks like.
That is one of the questions I had for our landscape architect. He said, yeah, if you get rid of those or swap them out for something that's not as big of a diameter, then you're going to see through, you're just going to see over top of it, and it's going to be a few short shrubs behind the sign, and then a lift station right behind it. And it, to some point, defeats the purpose of the goal here,
Which is to block out,
which is to
Or-
nice welcome and do some screening.
Could just plant a bunch of thistles there in the ditch and just forget about it. Wait, that's last year's photo, never mind.
Well, we have a motion. Did anybody second that?
I'll second.
All right, do we have any more?
I wouldn't mind if the bids had you know, like a lower, you know, if they could have two bids, you know, like with all the bells and whistles with big trees, and then maybe a lower cost option, like an A or B.
yeah.
That's all. That's my 2 cents worth.
One with trees, one without.
Yeah. Or less trees or something.
So we have nothing around the sign right now, right? It's just dirt, right?
But it sounds like, no, I get where you're going, but it sounds like the point of this is to block out the generator. And so if you have one without trees tall enough, it's
No.
going to defeat the purpose of the landscaping in general.
I get it, but when I drive by it, I really just sort of see that sign, because it is one heck of a bright sign. And
Yeah.
I'm really not looking at the generator, just my 2 cents
Right.
worth.
I know, I'm kind of like, is this a big deal or not? Like, you make it, I don't drive 38 that much, but I don't know if I care enough about it.
Well, you'll get a chance here in a minute. We can get to
Oh, but I'm speaking my opinion,
I
right?
know, but you'll get a chance here in a minute.
Here's
Yeah.
the thing, I can tell you that when we go on a ton of road trips.
Yep.
And when I come into a community, what I enter into that community determines whether I come back. I can tell you that there are so many different things where I will take video, it's probably because I'm on DHI too, but I will take video of downtown, I will take video of signs, and I will take a look at it, and then we will map whether or not we want to come back to that community and spend more money.
Based on your first impression.
Very much so. Yep.
That's a good point.
Because we could put, you know, we could paint that generator green or camel, I think, quite a too. I mean,
They make an invisible cloak you can throw over it.
All right, any other discussion? Let's get this thing going.
Right.
No other discussion? Let's vote. Carlson?
What are we voting on?
We're voting on up
Not to
to,
exceed.
not to exceed
As the
12,000.
plans, as
All
it's
right.
presented right now,
I'll say yes.
Sean? Bowen?
I'm gonna say no.
No. Keel?
Yes.
Horacek?
Yes.
Schilling?
Yes.
All right, so we got 4 and 1. We good? All right.
Suppose another option would be we just shut the light off and then at night,
Thank you.
nobody sees it anyway.
One of the neighbors across the street has asked me about that.
That light is pretty
Yeah,
bright.
yeah.
You can paint the thing black even.
All right.
When you see that.
I don't know how far do we want to go on the next one on the detention pond?
We can stick to the one pager if you'd like.
Next up, we wanted to talk about stormwater detention ponds, ownership, at this point strictly for discussion only. Michael put together a one-page summary followed by a multi-page, all of the detail report.
Yep.
This let me just throw in a couple things. This comes about from a conversation we had with a new developer coming to town, and they're gonna have to have a detention pond on their property or in their development. And the comment was made, when we sell the last lot, we're gonna be gone. And we're not gonna wanna come back and deal with that detention pond. And I was of the camp that said, we should not take them on. And that conversation that day, I actually changed my thinking on this deal, that we need to at least have the discussion. So that's why we're where we're at. Because as we continue to grow, we're gonna have more of these situations pop up, where we're gonna have bigger developments that are gonna have their own detention ponds, and we're gonna have to know how we are going to deal with them. Okay, now I'll turn it over to Michael.
Yes, so as Mayor Jones noted, this came to be just based on the discussion we had with the developer. Then the question was raised if the city wanted to take them over. So what we did is we looked at both South Dakota codified law as well as other cities in the area, Sioux Falls, T, Brandon, Harrisburg, and Brookings, see what they're doing for a comparison to get us started and look at those types of things. So codified law does allow cities to establish a stormwater maintenance fee, stormwater utility fee. They're slightly different for codified law. That's one that I'd probably defer to Tom on for understanding, because one of them has a limit on what you can charge. The other ones are to cover a set of costs. So when we look at other cities' approaches, Brandon and Brookings both charge a flat fee to all residences, $5 to $6 a month, say. Whereas Harrisburg, Sioux Falls, and T have a formula that they use to determine the fee. It is based on the land use, which in essence is the zoning. Is it commercial, industrial, single-family, multifamily, so on. There's a unit financial charge, which is truthfully just a multiplier that they use in tandem with the lot area to come up with the fee. So in that table in the middle of the one-page summary, you can see the fee generated from each community for various lot sizes. So additionally, we found Sioux Falls has platting fees for their stormwater utilities and their basins. One fee is, for single family, is about $2,600 per acre for single family, and then the detention charge is just shy of $1,000 per acre when the development is platted. So for, talked a lot about Turtle Creek recently. I believe their second phase is about 80 acres. In that scenario, that'd be about $3,600 per acre. If that was in Sioux Falls, which is, I don't know, $200,000 just to plat lots. So, Hartford isn't quite there. Sioux Falls has those imposed because they have regional ponds that treat hundreds, if not thousands, of acres within the city. Think about that large pond south of, is it 57th on the east side of 29? South of Texas Roadhouse.
Yep.
So that's one of the city's regional ponds that is funded and maintained through those platting fees within that basin. It's treats water from developments shutting to that area. That's not to say that those developments don't have their own basins. That just helps attenuate it because they have additional circumstances that require some of those additional stormwater requirements.
Right.
So based on this, as Mayor Jones noted, we're looking for the council's input based on this information. If one, the city would like to go down the route of taking over ownership of stormwater ponds in the future, and then two, if so, what does the stormwater fee look like? How does that get charged? What amount is it? And then secondly, what ordinance or design standard changes need to or should occur that help city staff better maintain these ponds to ensure that they are functioning. So those second items are a little bit down the rabbit hole, since it still hinges on that first question of, does the city take these over? But certainly on the next couple of things to think about.
And this is only for future ones, not anything
This would be
existing?
existing as well.
Well,
That's the whole
That's-
conversation.
That's
Right.
another rabbit hole that.
Because what do we
I'll
got,
stop
Craig,
myself
that
going
we'd
down
have to look?
because
Yeah,
Much harder,
So
much
right
harder to
now, this
answer.
is,
All
right
new-
now,
all
this
new
is
ponds.
just new. We
Yes.
haven't touched whether it's going to go to existing.
Correct.
what do we think we have for existing that we would have to consider?
That's already in that maintenance.
Yeah, but if we can take, they're gonna ask us to take them over.
Yeah, so you'd have six or seven probably.
6 or 7 ponds?
That's existing right now.
And the worst thing is, the ones that are existing are kind of overgrown.
Not
They need
being
work.
maintained.
They need work just to get them back.
Right.
Being maintained properly and everything else.
So
So
what-
if you have a developer that's already out of that area,
Yeah,
you're gonna have a hard time getting him to come back in and clean
Yeah.
the detention pond up.
and that's
Can you
really
give me
what,
an example of an existing one?
One's right over here on Maple Pass off of Opal,
Yeah?
that mess up there with all the trees in it, and that's,
Okay.
yep, that's one of probably the worst ones right now.
For this particular development, how much, I thought I read somewhere it was like about $170 per resident, is that right? Is what it would be? I mean, that's what their yearly fee would be to cover this cost, or no?
So,
If it's citywide, you said it was like $5 to $8, right, per?
I don't believe I had that in there. At the end of the full report, I'd estimated what it would cost the city to maintain a pond per acre for each year, and that was about $1,400 an acre, based on my many assumptions there. One thing I will note is this is intended for more of the residential ponds, where residential homes, private development, ponds on private sites such as Central State's Black Tie up north. It is our assumption that those will remain private, since those ponds only serve those businesses and those lots.
right.
So how is that, go ahead, Travis.
So you call, those are B and P ponds, right? Or not? Are they called, or do you
They're
classify
stormwater
them?
retention
They're
basins.
Yeah.
BMPs, I'm going to say ponds a lot, they're interchangeable.
Yeah, same
Yes.
wordage. Good.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead.
So in a situation, like, I'm just thinking of black tie, and so you made a comment that, or, trying to think of another kind of industrial area where there's a pond. What you would say is that, so black tie, that pond serves black tie.
Yep.
You would agree with that? Okay.
Yep.
So, let's say Jan's Corp., I'm just using them, or Turtle Creek, or use whatever, new developer on the residential side. So, but let's use Jan's Corp., or Maple Pass, I didn't even know that there was a retention pond over there. So, would it be consistent to say that the people up on Maple Pass, so your businesses, your apartments, you would say that they would also be the primary beneficiaries of that pond as well, right?
Correct.
Yeah, so where these ponds are located, the people within that general area, they are the primary beneficiaries of having that pond. Is that a logistical conclusion that I can come to?
Well, the thing
Yes,
about ponds are though, is they're designed for downstream, to protect the downstream flow. So I mean,
One thing I will say to your point, John, it's not just the general area, it's within the drainage basin. So that, on all of the plans that we receive and review on behalf of the city, those basin areas are delineated. So, roads are crowded, watersheds each way. There may be a drainage basin where one side of the street goes to one pond, one side goes to the other. So it wouldn't necessarily be, oh, this house is right next to the pond.
Yep.
That might not be in the basin. So it'd be within the drainage the overall drainage basin of water.
It's a lot more technical than just where that house or
Right.
that building is at.
Yes.
Base unit, and this is where I kind of, because this is a pretty like robust, I think, conversation once you do some research, because like, let's just hypothetically say that us as a council said, you know what, every resident in the city of Hartford is gonna pay $100 a year, right, to maintain these ponds. And I do have somewhat of an issue saying, okay, so I live on 6th Street, and so now I'm paying a fee for something, let's say, up further from me, up in Jan's Corp, so I'm on 6th Street in Western, and now I'm paying a yearly fee for something in because like, if you go down like Oaks Avenue, from north to south, Oaks Avenue it rolls downhill.
To the creek, yes.
Right? And so where I live, anything north of me, I have a little bit of an issue, so, and this even goes to Turtle Creek or anybody south, like, why would their yearly thing go and pay for development on the north side? Because they're at the bottom of where it typically drains. I just want to cause some, like, because like, this is a lot more.
So,
That's really why, that's why it's
Yeah,
a
I mean,
discussion.
this is
I mean,
like
we're
a
not gonna
3 hour
solve this in
No, we're not
one
gonna
night.
solve it tonight,
Yeah.
but like, this isn't black and white.
Right.
What I'm thinking is that there's a maintenance fee for these ponds. I mean, either the city pays for it or, but okay, so this developer, looks like it came up that they wanted to get out of this. Out of the maintenance. Okay. I
Either
that.
get out of it, or they
So-
have developed in other areas where they saw it was different. than
So
what we
what
did.
I was thinking, could we charge these developers to get out of the maintenance thing? Is to set up a fund
That's
or,
one way to do it.
like, let's say it's $100,000, we take 5% of that, and then we continuously use that $5,000 to help clean up the ponds. Where they set up a fund to be designated to use interest and everything that we can use to clean up the ponds. But I don't know how,
and I,
that might be cost prohibitive to a developer, but if they want to get out, instead of maintaining it, maybe that's something that they would.
and not to open the can of worms, but there is 3 pages in the full report.
Oh, it's a crazy.
If you read the full report, there's like I said, there's a lot of information discussed. We're not gonna solve it.
Right.
We're not gonna solve it
Well-
tonight, but we're
I guess
here.
step one is, are we interested in
Pursuing. Right.
taking over the maintenance of detention ponds? Because in history, in the past, we have not done. We have said,
Right.
your ponds, the city's not gonna take them over. But after more discussion, how good a plan is that in the long run? Because like you said, developers come in, once they
You know
get
what's-
done developing their last lot, they're gone. And then they don't get taken care of, like Craig says, and then there's issues there, so.
We have currently unmaintained.
Yes, exactly, so we have that, so
What's
maybe
not
for the
happening-
long term, we need to look at something like this. However ever we set it up, maybe.
What also doesn't happen is nobody sprays for mosquitoes in those privately owned areas, right? So it becomes more of a public nuisance than, well, it's your neighborhood's issue, and so that $100, to your point, $100 may be paid by you to maintain all of them in the community, provides a safer community because there's less mosquitoes, less chance of West Nile, and those sorts of things as well. It's just a different way of looking at it.
Yeah, no, I can see that. So we have existing ponds, and I understand that there's like this, I think one of the pros of the city taking it on is that those are maintained from a visibility perspective. Obviously, there could be ongoing cost with the engineering associated with that, with the dredging of that, with the reconstruction of that. And so right now, hypothetically, let's say we had a development that was developed 20 years ago, and they had a retention pond that was not functioning in the proper way. What action can we take as a council to fix that?
If it violates a property maintenance ordinance, is that?
And
your
who's
right?
accountable? Yeah, I mean, like, who would be accountable for that?
No, the landowner.
Would the landowner, like, right butting up to it, or like the people within that?
Whoever owns the land.
Somebody owns that
That being-
lot
So-
where
so-
that pond is.
So when these developers build, they sell off their lots, is it typical for them to remain ownership of those, maybe it's 1 acre, half an acre. So we can actually go after the person who owns that detention pond, sorry, so we can actually, is there a mechanism in place?
But there's legal fees associated with that too. If you make them the cities, then you have planned maintenance. You plan for that maintenance, and it's not an unexpected expense. Just my 2 cents. Right,
But
just
it is an
becomes-
increased expense because you have your mowing, your upkeep, you have your potential you're right, you should be able to plan for, it's not like, oh, one day that detention pond isn't working anymore.
Right.
But there
You know it's
is,
gonna silt in a certain level every year, and over the course of 10 or 15 years, now you gotta start thinking about.
I have one last question. One, correct me if I'm wrong, when I was reading this, is one of the benefits of the city potentially taking it over is we get to set the design standards for those ponds. Is that correct?
Correct, yes. Since
We'd
the
have to
city-
make some changes, we'd probably have to make some changes
We
to
would
our.
recommend some changes,
Right.
yes.
That
But that would be
the
one of the benefits.
developer would have to follow?
Yes.
Yes.
or
we'd have-
the current owner.
Yeah,
if
so
they
so
wanted
for
to take
new
ownership.
ponds.
Yeah,
they wanted to
I'm
turn
on
it-
more on the new right now.
Yes, if they wanted to turn that new pond over to the city, you would have to comply with the design standards.
yes.
And we'd review it.
Just like we do everything else.
Correct.
Basically.
And there's, in other municipalities that we work in admittedly Minnesota, there are some municipalities that require as-built surveys of that pond to ensure it has the capacity and storage and everything that is needed to make sure that the pond functions on the back end after it's done.
Correct. Maybe less maintenance than
Yes.
the ponds that we currently have that are not being maintained.
Yes,
And
because-
maybe not up to a design standard. And so we could set a higher standard for new ponds that in turn could have a little less maintenance, potentially. But yes, our existing ponds may require a little bit more expense to get it to where it needs to be if we decide to take all of them over.
Yes, so I'd say a lot of the existing ponds, I don't want to speak for all developers, but based on some of the discussions we have, they see ponds solely as an expense and not a necessity of the site to control the
Right.
engineering necessity to protect downstream. And so those are typically made as efficiently as possible, try to keep the footprint as small so they can, maximize the total area to be sold, which I don't blame them for in the slightest, but that just leads to perhaps some steeper slopes, making it more difficult to maintain.
And then does the developer sell the existing pond areas, the old ones? Do they sell those? Is that something where they, like we charge them to, to take that over? Or we own that portion of that land now, or?
We've only taken over one that was given to us because they didn't want it. And they are tough to maintain, because if you have a wet
That's
year,
something
you
I,
don't get into
that's
it.
off.
Yeah,
Mobile Lane, up the,
yeah.
across
The-
from
only
North,
the
or
edges.
South Main.
And then everything else is.
Yeah.
The Crestman Trail, or whatever that road is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one we own.
It's okay to mention Minnesota if you're talking about water. It seems like they figured it out. I mean, they have their county ditches. They seem to have sorted that out years ago, But again, when you see the Traco in there cleaning that out, the real question is, who's paying for it?
Right.
And so that's really where we're at.
Right.
I got a quick question. So if we were to take over ownership of the current ones and the existing ones, the developers still pay to build that retention pond, or is that now a cost? So it's kind of like a road, right? I guess the developers build it to
Hand
our
it over,
code.
right.
Yes.
And then they hand it over.
Correct.
For maintenance. Okay.
Once all the punch list items are done, then we take ownership.
Yeah.
After
When
about
we-
10
when
years?
we
After about 10 years?
We did not get it to standard before we took it over.
Right. I'm trying to think in the last, in the years that we've been here, we've probably talked ponds not many times, 2 or 3 times.
Last, really,
Yeah.
the HADF was really
Yeah,
the last big.
2 or 3
discussion
times
we
that
had.
we've actually, in 10 years. I mean, it's not like we talk about it,
Knapp's Landing, whether it's a detention or a retention.
Yeah.
And they've determined that's gonna be a retention.
yeah. So they actually made it into a water feature,
Yeah.
basically, at their, yeah. Well, I guess,
What's that?
let's,
Talk to me.
Yeah, right, exactly.
let's circle back. So really, what I was intending or hoping that we'd get accomplished tonight, at least to start the discussion, is this something that the council really has a feeling that we should continue? And if that's the case, then we really got to start boiling it down to what do we want to look at? How's this going to look? How are we going to handle this? How are we going to, if in fact we do look at taking over the existing, how are we going to do it? Right? Is that, so if the council has an appetite that we continue this conversation, that's what I guess I'm looking for
I
tonight.
think we need to, and I think if you think big picture here, if you want to develop Hartford in a reasonable, controlled manner and not have developers come in and cherry pick lots that don't have detention ponds on them, or
Right.
will require detention ponds, the city has to have this figured out. Otherwise, they're just going to skip over those.
Right.
And,
Because really, it does lend itself to developers coming in and buying multiple lot spaces. That's, and not that that's what we're 100% aiming for, but we have to have that thought in mind,
I think so.
right? Thoughts? Should we keep plowing forward a little bit? Because what we'll do is we'll just tell Michael to cut his 4 or 5 page report down to,
Just keep throwing us into Chat GPT until the paragraph.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an interesting discussion because who would have thought? I mean, it's not cut and dry.
No.
It's not, I would rather just say, let's keep it the way we're doing it because I've been on here for 3 years. And this is the first time I remember actually having a discussion
Yep.
about it.
yep,
But that doesn't mean a hill of beans. And so I'm interested in starting a kind of a slower conversation about
Yep.
this.
Yep.
Not coming to a quick conclusion.
right.
You know, because there's so many factors, like what do you do? To me, it's easy to figure out what are we gonna do with new ones? Like, that's kind of easy, but it's with the existing ones.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to take over 6 or 7 that are complete dog crap.
I think it'd be handy if we take a map and mark where they're all at.
Yeah.
And you guys just drive by them, see what you.
Yes.
think.
I think so too. I think
Yeah.
that starting it really slow,
Yeah.
all of us, you know, yeah.
I'd say let's formulate some next step information, Michael,
You guys
Craig.
can see what they look like.
Yes. Get us some of that information.
And I'm not looking for opinions on what to do. I'm just looking to see
Yeah.
what our options are.
Yeah,
Because I lean more towards the opposite way of why not control anything in the future? We already have 7. Why not control? We have a little bit more of a say
Right.
as
Moving
to how
forward.
they're put in.
But it's those 7, that's where that robust, that's where that starts then. So I agree with you. I think it's easier to say from here on out, we're gonna do this, but it's
Yeah.
the 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Not knowing those costs of what would have to be done, because obviously we would want those current owners to get those things up to code, up to spec, so we don't take on a bunch of ponds. Next thing you know, we've got a bunch of ponds that are out of code, that are not functioning properly.
yeah.
So
Yep.
that's where I caution at. I want to take a balanced approach.
It's gonna be hard to, down the road, if we don't, and I'm not for maintaining them, but if we don't maintain them, if the company comes in, builds a bunch of houses, builds a detention pond, goes bankrupt or quits their business, the city's stuck with them,
Right.
you know?
Not to standard. It's,
Yeah.
a whole other set of
Right,
issues.
right.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
it's.
We gotta have.
Not the way they own it there.
We're at that point where we gotta really look at this thing and say, do we wanna create the standard? And do we want new ones built to a specific standard? I think Michelle, you're right, I agree with you. But I do think we have to look at the old ones too, just to get everything on.
I was just looking at the ones up on Western Meadow and that, they sold that to Nielsen when he bought the rest of the land. so.
Yeah, yes.
least
So-
we have something
Or
done.
even as a, you know, a member of the city who is a house owner and has that around their property, coming in, you know, concerned about
Yeah.
something that's not being maintained around their property.
Right.
You know, who's in charge of it,
Correct.
you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I'd love to see where they're at, because I'm just not familiar, and I'm not familiar with what they
another
look
golf
like.
cart trip.
So,
Yeah, it's been a while.
How about a SEMA for bus
No,
tour?
nobody on this
Detention
council,
ponds?
I don't think, has had private homeowners come in and say, hey, I need you to dredge out my backyard.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic.
We've had that
We've had
happen.
discussion too.
Yeah, we've had that discussion. Yeah, we've had some interesting asks. Let's just put it that way.
right.
Travis just,
That's what
you
I'm trying
know,
to avoid.
wait, I'll claim this one as my idea.
So it's Travis's. You have to say it.
We should do another golf cart trip like we did that time. This would be a good one to
Yeah.
jump on the golf cart trip.
I dropped that about 2 weeks, like 8 weeks ago. I was like, hey, we should do another golf cart trip.
No, you didn't. I don't remember that. All right,
As far as next steps, I'll get a map.
yep,
With all the
work with,
ponds,
yep,
Any additional info on what they're doing out there in terms of design standards specifically? It was a very vague statement, just some clarity would be.
Also, it'd be nice to see some code violations. If we've, you know, this would be a question for Kyle, but with the existing ones, what code violations have we had?
I think the biggest thing is that, you know, they're not being maintained and not being mowed. and
Okay,
taken
so
care
if
of.
they're
We've
not being
addressed it in
maintained, they're not being
Western
mowed, then we
Meadows,
should have code violations
yeah.
on, you
We have,
know.
like I said, we've addressed it with Western Meadows.
Okay.
We've had to do
Yeah.
it. We can do it, yeah.
all right? We good? You got enough info to move us forward? Michael, you think?
I think so, yeah.
You think so or you know so, Michael? We need to feel confident here.
Oh, we're confident.
Okay.
I think
McKenna's
the next
taking
meeting, we
notes
wanna
over here.
get a
She
map and
knows.
some pictures
She's
of
got it.
Existing ones and get some more information on it.
Yeah,
Thank
Yep.
you.
Just baby step it forward, okay?
well, thanks for everybody for the comments. I think that was one of those that we kind of had put off and time to talk about. All right, you got anything else, Michael?
I believe that's all I have.
Wow. Wow. All right. With that, we'll move to Craig's report, city superintendent. What do you got for us, Craig?
Just some updates. So the crack sealing's been completed for this year, and then most of it's gonna be roads that, well, slurry seal next year, because you always crack seal the year before. We're gonna be doing a little bit of mastic here next Monday or Tuesday, then getting ready for slurry seal later this month. For the wastewater facility, we did get a permits from Danner for our biosolids to handle them. That's just gonna be something now that we'll have to get online so we can fill out the permit. It'll be once a year at the beginning of every year, we'll have to fill that out, which shouldn't be a big deal. Parks, the Frisbee golf pads are completed and then dirt work done around them season, so. Was everything else is in my report?
Did we get the cameras for the parks yet, or are these still?
They are on.
I just, I just talked with the gentleman to get a ETA on them. He thinks the equipment will be in either later this week or early next week, and then we'll schedule an install with more.
Perfect.
So hopefully within a couple weeks.
All right, any questions for Craig?
Oh, go ahead. I
We
have a
were
question.
talking trees earlier, and the lift station. Is there, I believe the conceptual plan for the wastewater treatment facility included some screening vegetation along the north side of that as well. What's the plan for getting that?
I know there was some trees kind of on the drawings and that stuff. I guess it never.
And I think that just on the conceptual plan, I
Right,
think it was
right.
part of the bid.
Yeah, no, I would fully agree with that.
But if you want-
Yeah, if we were to do it again, I think that plan should have maybe a wall to screen all of that stuff, it's really, as far as buildings go, it's kind of attractive. And then you've got that generator sitting out there on the north side between the building and the interstate. It's really an eyesore, but in a good way. It's just not attractive. Now, I get it's a wastewater treatment facility, but if we put some vegetation, some trees along there to grow up.
We could certainly put something together in the budget
Yeah.
for next year.
Yeah.
Get something there.
All right, Michelle.
I just had an ask, if you could, I had one person stop into my office at Deer Hollow that is a tenant, and then I had another person that stopped into my office that's not a tenant. And on Opal, I think it's Opal, so if you're driving, and you turn, I think it's Opal, and then Rude Lane. As you're going north on Rude Lane, the very first fire hydrant there, in the street, there is like a water, it says water, but the little cap is constantly off and in the road, and then people will put it back. I'll put, it doesn't stay there.
Okay.
And so I kind of drove around, jumped out of my truck at a couple other places, and I was like, I think that's supposed to stay in the road and not come out. And so I just thought maybe you could check.
Yeah, well, more likely it got hit in the wintertime with plows, because they do, everything kind of shifts.
Yeah, yeah.
And it'll bust that casting out, so we go in and replace that casting
Awesome.
without
Thank
cutting
you.
streaks.
I appreciate it.
Take a look at it.
I got a couple quick things. I went on my yearly bike ride. Colton Road to Quick Start, and as we know, that's always an issue on those bike trails with gravel. I mean, I think that's just something that needs to be almost checked weekly or bi-weekly, probably bi-weekly. Tons of gravel.
Okay.
I mean, it's, obviously when you get up towards that first house there, heading, there, and then on that
It's
last house.
probably most of them driveways along
It,
there.
it is, but
Yeah.
I'm driving the bike and people are running, that trail is used a lot, so I would love to see just something to where that part of that trail is clean, because it was an issue last year and probably years before that, before I said anything. So I'd like to see that maintained. Another thing, I was at the pool yesterday, did we make any progress on a bathroom part, or on a toilet partition for the thing that we talked about a few weeks ago?
Nothing yet, no.
Okay.
We'll get what to do.
Yeah, so I'd like to see that, because that's, I don't know, hell, my company will donate a partition if it's a cost thing. You walk right in there, you're walking, I mean, it's so crazy, but you gotta think about it, you got little boys going to the bathroom in there. I mean, this is a major privacy thing, so I'm gonna get a little bit more urgent on this, but I want that taken care of this summer. And then, on the park bench in Turtle Creek, I know I texted you about that. Was that ever looked at Turtle Creek, the park bench the concrete was coming out and?
Yeah, we're going to get it reset, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, because I'm sure, I was like, how do you do that? Do you have to nail the concrete off, or do you have to just dig it down deeper,
Yeah, well.
That's like third on the list, but I'd like to see that, like I said, that part on the trail cleaned off, and I want a bathroom partition. I'm gonna fight that tooth and nail until it's done. So, next meeting, if it's not done, then I'm going a little bit harder on it because it needs to be done. It's a cheap fix, it's simple. If it's a budget issue, I will literally donate a partition to get that fixed.
We'll take
Okay.
care of it.
Make the check payable to me.
Will do.
Where would a person find those conceptuals for that wastewater treatment facility? I've gone back and dug around, and there's like links are broken now.
I know I got a hard copy, I can price scan one and put it in your box.
I can send that too, see the original.
Is
Sounds
that
great, thank
an
you.
electronic copy you can look at?
All right.
Scanning one.
Anything else for Craig? Good enough, thank you. Next, we'll move on to Karen.
Yeah, my report's in the packet. No updates or anything to add unless anyone has any questions.
The $600,000 we got for the community access grant, that goes to pay the, yeah. That's kind of nice.
I think with that project, between that, we got a read loan on
Yep.
them, we've got the other loan with it, the SRF loan with it. I think between, when it's all said and done, we haven't paid the final pay app out of it now, but I think we will be long in that project, so those funds can ultimately be transferred to the general fund to be used if you want to pay off a portion of the loan, or,
Yep.
you know. We have
Good.
that discussion once we completely close out the project, we know our final cost because of where we're at.
Great. Pay them off as quick as we can. All right, any questions for Karen, anybody? All right, Teresa, let's move to your report.
I don't have too much to add either. Just noting on the cybersecurity stuff again, I did put in your computer box, I sent an email of my updates, but the draft plan for our cybersecurity plan is in your computer box for you to review. It's several pages long, it's kind of a template from another city. It's been reviewed finally by our IT. I'd like you to review it because I'm going to put it on the agenda, kind of go over all this stuff at our next meeting, but I want to give you some time to review it. Also in there under cybersecurity is, we had the 2 assessments. We had the one from DSU and the one from Homeland Security. Their reports are in there with the recommendations. And to go with that, those have all been reviewed by IT as well. We've had the discussion. We have kind of a little checklist of things of how we're going to address all the recommendations on it. A lot of them are fairly simple fixes with IT to make changes in how stuff's set up. We are going to beef up our firewall that will address a lot of things that are recommended. But that checklist is in there, and I'll work with IT to start getting those things off the checklist, and that will address every, thing brought out by those 2 recommendations. So that's in there too for you to look at. So we'll kind of go through that a little bit at the next meeting as well. So, but I did put them in your computer box to give you guys time to review it a little bit before we talk about it at the next meeting there. So, don't really have any update on any of the grants. We put in for that GFP one for the trail going up to the sports complex. Haven't heard anything yet. Usually those get out in the July timeframe, so I'm hoping this month maybe we'll hear something on that one way or the other. And then I already give you an update on the cameras. Like I said, we expect those to come in the next week or so. So, any questions for me?
Anybody got any questions for Teresa? All right, thank you, Teresa. I see we have one item we want to discuss under your report, and that's the proposed letter that we're going to send to the Kelly Avenue residents regarding our one-way test, one-way street test.
Yep, so I think, we kind of reviewed the conceptual plans or the suggestions, our options, I guess we'd say, about Kelly Avenue. And we decided at the last meeting that we'll do maybe a test run on the one-way option. So you guys wanted me to put together a letter to the residents. That letter's in your packet. I just want to make sure that all looks good to you. If it does, we will get that out this week still. And then we can hopefully then start about, obviously we'll need a little bit of time engineering to get some signs and some markings up, but maybe we can, midway through this month, run it for about a month, get feedback on it, and we can go from there. But I guess at this point, are we good with the letter going up to the residents?
I think it should come from Craig, his idea.
We could put his name on that.
I like it the way it is.
One idea would be just to maybe put a picture of what it would look like so that they can visualize it, or, hey, go to this link. It'd be nice, I'm just trying to, if I live on Kelly Avenue and I get this letter, I'm like, how is this even going to look? I think it would be nice for them, whether it's a picture in the letter or something on our website, that they could go to a link and just see what it visually looks like to have an idea, but that's just my opinion.
Well, could we pluck that one
Okay, we
picture
take
of
that one
the,
picture out of
Yeah.
there, if he could.
Just send it- I would send it right with the letter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yep.
so, because,
Great idea.
Here's our.
then we'll
our
put Sean's
concept
name
of
right
it.
next to Craig's.
Yeah.
That was my idea.
Boy, I'm glad I have no good ideas.
I really like your second to last statement.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, this may
yeah.
Well, I
be
took that
one
from
way to
Cindy.
solve your problem.
Oh, that is so
I took that
good.
lead from
That is
Cindy.
so
We could use wordplay in there, so there you go.
If you could put thank you to your attention to this matter at the end of it, that would be even better.
No, let's leave that out. Dave.
Only that.
All
We'll
right,
have the picture and we'll get them out then.
Sounds
all
good.
right, perfect.
Let's hope the mail gets there.
Yes, exactly.
Too soon, too soon.
You need a motion?
Consensus is good with me. I mean, it's not like it's a no. I think we've already agreed that we're doing this.
Yeah.
Just want you guys to see this so you know what's going on to the residents.
That's it.
All right,
So when they call the Ward 1 Chamber, City Council, you know,
yeah.
we know what they're talking about.
We do.
All right, under old business, we have one item, and it's an update on the Chamber Block Party America 250 Hartford 130. I wore my brand spanking new t-shirt Saturday to the Menno, South Dakota 4th of July. And we probably should have thought about this. We should have had the date of our event on there somewhere. Because everybody said, oh, did you guys already have your event? I said, no, it's coming up on the 17th. Oh, it doesn't say that on your shirt.
I think a look at it though, it's an all year.
I know.
It's me.
It's
an
I
all year
know, but-
celebration. Yeah.
But of course, that's, you know,
Yeah.
hey, that's a great shirt. When
The
did you
next
do
time you
it?
wear your shirt, just carry a sign with you.
Oh, I should, yeah, it's the
Yeah.
17th. Yeah, I should have.
But those sold very well. They're almost all done.
Yes, they are. We are
They're
out
not
of
really-
extra larges and larges, we're just down to.
They're a nice shirt.
small.
It's really a
Look up
nice
to
shirt.
left.
I wore mine already once, so, yeah. Jill said she's getting some response for additional raffle prizes, so that'll be awesome. ISG is gonna send their drone crew and shoot footage. That'll be fun. ISG is also sponsoring a portion of the fireworks. We appreciate that. So, should be awesome. 17th, 6 o'clock.
I'll be there.
Be there.
Perfect.
Did you get Benjamin Jones to show up?
I think Ben's gonna come. Last I talked with him, he's gonna come. He's on the list. He was
Well,
just
it's for papers, so he
8
said-
days and, I don't know if I follow him on Facebook, so he was just 8 days out of the deal in Washington DC. He ran the South Dakota booth at the All-American State Fair, so, yeah, Ben's a good guy. All right, anything else on that? Good? All right, let's move to new business. First thing up, review the July 1 notable law changes for cities. And really no action, we just wanted you to review those, and last night, if you recall, I misread one of them, so I've got that corrected in my mind, but the way Senate Bill 47 reads is, when we go now into executive session, we can't just do an all in favor aye, we have to do a roll call vote that is recorded in the minutes. Not for, do we have to do the same coming out of exec? I don't know, did you read that very close? It doesn't really say it. Yeah.
You come out and you're reconvened.
It's secret until you're out.
Right.
Yeah.
But to go in, you have to have it proven and
Unanimous.
recorded. Okay, yeah. So, anything, Tom, that you'd like
In
to?
the absence of any, I mean, if it's voiced unanimous, in the absence of a unanimous vote, then roll call.
Oh, I see.
So wait,
That's
say that.
unanimous.
Oh.
I read it
Absence
the
of
way.
unanimous.
So I do
We
not
to
have-
do it.
All in favor, and everybody says yay.
I'm okay.
And if it
But if
says,
it isn't,
In the absence of a unanimous vote.
Say
yes.
nay.
If someone says nay, then you gotta do a roll call.
Then, okay, gotcha. Well, that's not the way we got this worded here.
No, that's not the way I was kind of with you on Arden, and I thought you had to do it.
Yeah, because the way it is that I thought I would have to do it every time.
think of the amount of time that'll save over the course of a year.
Oh, yeah, it does say down here in the municipal leagues deal, and, yeah,
Yeah.
tons of time. Yeah, all right, any questions on that or anything? All right, next one, we're gonna review, approve the SMGA/HADF contract and MOU memorandum of understanding with the city of Hartford. We've been talking about this for a while. This is to contract in joint effort with Development Foundation, with Sioux Metro Growth Alliance to supply a economic development specialist or person for Hartford, not only to work for HADF, but also to work for the city. There was a couple things in the contract that we have
Has this
changed.
been reviewed by our, I mean?
Have you looked, I don't know if Tom's,
Yeah, I've looked at it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's any, it's the issues of the conflicts that are addressed in there, I think.
Yeah.
Been problematic potentially in the past.
yeah. So there was a couple things on the payment and how it was gonna be paid that we've corrected, and
I think this is a kind of a typical model for
Yeah.
Sumetro.
Tyler did say they kind of use this model with
Yeah.
all their cities.
You're talking, when you say model, you're talking contract?
The
model
Contract, yes,
contract,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
They
And the concept
typically,
of how they're delivering the service.
right, they typically do a 3, we told them it was a yearly renewable basis, so we had the wording to reflect that we're renewing this.
What's the, and so I was gone during the meeting in which we approved this. Now, I was, just for the record, I was in favor of what the council approved. Is there, I guess a question I have is, so we're paying half of this bill.
Yeah,
Why are we, because my understanding is that the SMGA employee is working on behalf of the HADF, correct? Am I right on that? They're not working on behalf of the city. Why are we even reviewing this contract if we don't have any authority over that? So I'm just curious on, if we don't have authority over that, why are we actually reviewing this contract? I don't know if we have to vote on this.
Because we're spending money on it.
because the
Well, we spend
memorandum,
money on a lot of stuff that we don't review
The
contracts
MOU is between the
with.
city and HADF though.
And the contract refers to the MOU.
the memorandum of understanding that is the second document is between the city of
and the
Hartford
HADF.
and the Hartford Area Development
Okay, so this is a
Foundation.
contract between us and the HADF.
Yep, and we
Jointly
signed
fund
both
the
documents.
position.
Yep,
Okay.
And the contract refers to the MOU that's between the city and the HADF. So we do have to
Okay.
sign the MOU. if that's-
I'm following now. I'm
Gotcha.
following.
My question is regarding the compensation, and Arden and I talked about this a little bit, but this year, it's very, it's obvious that HADF is paying $25,000, Hartford is paying $25,000. Now, the funding request that the HADF brought forth last night was for $25,000 to pay for the SMGA contract. With the way I read this contract, we are still on the hook in 2027 to pay $25,000 to SMGA for this contract. Is that true? Am I misunderstanding that, or is that correct? Would we essentially, in 2027, be paying the full $50,000? Just just funneling 25,000 through HADF?
So I can tell you that I processed some of that last night, and I was going to wait because I had already read through the meeting for tonight. And one of the things that I've thought about is that's a budget request that can be denied, because that's for 2027. So that would be after. I mean, this contract is only through July 15th of 2027.
right.
So the budget request that they're asking for is what I was guessing, assuming, and I wanted some clarification on, is that budget request would be for the following year's
Yes,
contract. And so that would be the council's decision then on if that budget request is approved of for that $25,000 that they're asking for the year of 2020, July 16, 2027 to July of 2028.
Yeah.
That is what they're asking that $25,000 for, which is, I can tell you right now, I'm not for. I like the half and half. But that is how I read it. Is that correct?
That's the way I understand it, is that the ED funds, the 25,000 we put this year, we'll pay out this year for this contract that'll run till, mid-year next year. And the way I understood it too is the HADF, yes, is requesting 25,000
For the next
for when
contract.
this contract runs out for the next contract. That's the way I understood it.
I'm in favor of this year's contract.
And really, based on our discussion last night, we have not made any action on that 27, 28
Nope.
request.
No,
So we have time to, if we need to clarify to make sure that that wording is correct, we can surely do that
Right.
before we get to our
Right, and
budget.
as Michelle pointed out, it's a budget,
It's a
item. Even as
budget.
that, you still have to release the funds
Yes.
next year, yes.
This contract that we're asking to be approved tonight is what we've been discussing, 25 from us, 25 from them.
Right, with the ED funds that are
Correct.
budgeted this year with their proposal.
Correct.
Yeah, and this one runs through, to your point,
July
July
of
of
2027,
Seven.
yes. Yep. And that gives us a year.
You know, I think what's been skewing my thinking of it is initially, I think he was looking for like a 2 or 3 year contract.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's
Right.
where, okay. Yeah.
Yes. They typically, SMGA typically writes these for a three-year deals.
There it was, I know I scrolled past it.
Yeah.
The term will terminate, this agreement will terminate on July 15, 2027. Okay.
Right, and we had that,
We're just
we
gonna
changed
take us
that to
year
make
by
it
year
to a year.
now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We have the MOU.
Yeah. So I've talked through this with Tyler several times, so I think what we've done here is what the council's intent with our economic development funds to get us to this point.
I noticed, an area where it had said that we may need to provide space.
Yep.
Office space.
Yes.
Will they have all of their own, we do not need to provide any office equipment,
No.
anything outside of just a space.
Right.
I saw that too. We had a call with Tyler.
Yeah.
He says actually at this point, they're not anticipating the city to provide anything, no space, equipment, supplies, or
Nothing.
anything. He says maybe, say they need to come in and do an hour of work, or maybe want to come use the council room.
For a meeting.
Bring their computer, now we don't have, right, just
Right.
someplace for them to sit down and do some work or whatnot,
Yeah.
which
Okay.
we can work that out with them,
What
but
we
not a
told-
permanent
yeah.
office space, no equipment, no, yeah, they'll have all of it.
Well, we told Tyler, we'll facilitate whatever we need to make it, to make
Yeah,
this
yeah,
thing work,
I'll work, yeah.
so. All right, any other questions, thoughts, actions?
So we need action on this?
We need to make a motion to
I
approve
will
this.
make a motion to approve, sorry guys, I'm looking at just gotta scroll up here. I will make a motion to approve the SMGA/HADF contract and MOU with the city of Hartford.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Schilling,
Yes.
Parachit,
Yes.
Keel,
Yes.
Bowen,
Yes.
Carlson.
Yes.
All right? Next up, discuss billboard options. This is one we had briefly talked about when the lagoon land became no longer necessary for the city to own, and the 501c3 Gateway Hartford, Inc. was established and the land was transferred to them. The city has contracts with folks, businesses that have billboards on that land. Now, as you can imagine, we have billboard leases that are coming up for renewal. So rather before then, we're right up against the wall, we felt we should probably talk about this and see what we want to do.
I would like to terminate them, and I've talked about this before. I think that's really good property. I love what Book Your Billboard has done on Interstate 90 heading into town. And I know that we as a city won't do it because we don't own that land. But I would like to end those contracts. I'm just going to speak openly here. I know that's kind of surprising.
It is, really.
I'm
shocked.
I would like to have those contracts end as soon as possible. And the only reason for that is that as I'm driving into Sioux Falls, I love what some of these whether it's Lamar or Book Your Billboard, of what they're doing. They've got nice, huge billboards, they're great marketing, great advertising, and I would love to see that space utilized for something like that, because I understand if we extend these things out, further, now I don't think we're gonna have that land developed for years to come. Could be 5 years, or 3 years, or 10 years, but I don't want to, I don't know. I've always been in favor, not always, but I've said it before publicly. I would love to see that the billboards handed over to a private entity that specializes in that space, to take that over, and for the city to relinquish control of that, and maybe it's, I don't know how that works, maybe that's the whatever we call it, Gateway Hartford, be able to lease that land out. A lot of that, I've been doing some research on this, but a lot of those landowners, to my understanding, that own that land and have billboards, they lease it out. It's a form of revenue for those landowners. And so I'm a huge proponent of letting whoever owns that land, whether it's GHI or whatever, would love to see the city just end this whole billboard thing. I just don't think it's in the city's best interest to be in charge of that, to be doing that. That's my opinion.
How do you propose we replace the revenue these generate?
Well, we don't charge enough, to my understanding. If you do a market analysis on this, what we're charging is, and I get it, I want to help out our local businesses, but I don't think us being in the billboard business is one way of doing that. I'd rather charge a little bit less per linear foot on the maintenance, on the street maintenance fee versus, if you want to, I don't see that as a city's function as owning and operating billboards. So I'd rather see us take go another route into helping out people. Okay?
Can I ask what we charge?
Not enough.
It's really cheap.
It's like
It's pretty cheap.
I mean, it depends on what size I got the sheet here.
I'm sorry.
So basically, our east face ones, if you get a full billboard, it's 300, half a billboard's 150. Now,
Per month.
per month, yes, sorry. And then the west face ones, we just rent a full, we won't break it down, and it's $300 as well per month. That was decided back in 2024. And when we did reach out to see what rates are, I agree, we are low.
We're at 50%. I got one quote, and I'm not gonna do one, but I got one quoted to me on Interstate, as you go to I-29. And I think a static billboard is what they call it. So that's one with, your name on it, or, it's not the electronic one. It was for sure in that 500 to 600 range. For sure, that was
I know we're lower, and I think the thought of that time is, though, it is generating some income for it, but it's also giving our businesses kind of a break, because it's usually, the Hartford community that's advertising there. Like I said, we do have the lagoon land, if we want to, eventually we need to be off, this isn't our land.
Correct.
Eventually we need to be off this land, and what they decide to do with it, if they want to that's them. But, you know, we do have the lagoon land. One option is I could do some research on what it would take, you know, cost to put billboards up there, whether they're the design we got now, which isn't a real good design, just because they're not real cost effective, or whether it's a digital one. Or so on, you know, I could do a little research on, you know.
Yeah, but then it's a GHI land though, so like.
I'm
No,
talking about
oh,
putting
he's
it
talking
on
the
our,
new wastewater
our new
treatment plant.
wastewater treatment.
Oh,
plant.
oh, gotcha,
On that
okay, I missed
side,
that
you
part.
know.
Moving
Yeah.
off of our.
Yeah.
Sheriff, would that be a distraction, going east on I-90 with a digital billboard on our wastewater treatment plant?
That's a good question.
It's zoned industrial, you can put billboards
Yeah,
in.
they do it everywhere.
Everywhere.
There are DOT regulations, you gotta be so far off.
the road, you gotta be so much
Lightings,
high.
I mean, you do
Yeah,
gotta meet all
just
those
in the hanging
regulations.
snow would be right as you're.
If
Yeah,
they're
I mean, they've
scrolling,
got-
they have to be present for so many seconds before they
Scroll.
scroll to the next.
Yeah,
Right.
so we'd have to
So
meet
you
all of
don't-
that, like all the other billboards.
And then you have to
No
ask.
one's,
oh,
no
is
one's
it-
contacted you?
As far
I've
as
talked to like two
billboard?
different billboard companies. Nobody's reached out to you, huh?
So tonight, really, we were just to kind of, thank you, Sean, for your comments. Our first one really comes up the end of September, so I wonder if we should, I guess I'm a little bit on both sides of the fence. I hear you when you say we shouldn't be in the business, but if we're going to do it and we're gonna stay in the I would rather see us do a really, or get in contract with somebody that would have a really nice.
That's what I'm saying. I think that
electronic
this is
billboard.
a GH, so like the city
Well,
does
I'd
not.
take GHI out of it. I would say if the city wants to lease or get in contract with a billboard company, rent them a spot at our,
But we can't, we don't own that land anymore.
no, I'm not talking that land, I'm talking our wastewater treatment plant.
Okay, but this is.
This is all, there's two separate deals. We gotta figure out what we're gonna do with these contracts, which you made your,
I want to stay out of the billboard game, because we've got enough.
And I'm saying
Yeah, okay.
let's
Yeah.
talk with somebody and see if they would want
Yes,
to lease a
I
spot
agree.
from us and put a billboard up.
I 100% agree.
Okay.
Yeah, so GHI needs to have on their next agenda for their next meeting that
How-
they're going to acquire these billboards. I mean,
What are they gonna do?
What are they gonna do with them?
Right.
So that's their problem.
But also, you guys are, you know, or GHI is going to remediate that land. You're gonna have a lot of earthwork.
Oh, sure, we
So,
know that.
Yeah, like you can't say,
Right.
okay, hey, we're gonna contract
Right.
with Lamar.
No,
Yeah.
no.
You know, and then all of a sudden, we gotta move a bunch of dirt
Yeah,
work, you know,
correct.
that's gonna
They
affect.
would, I would maintain what's there.
Right.
But, yeah, to your guys' point too, look into to replace this revenue.
Yep, if we
Look
could
into
lease out some
contracting.
land to a company, we're just leasing that land, we're not.
Yep, we're not in the business, they're selling the billboards, they're doing all this stuff.
But now, if we were to do something on our current wastewater treatment facility, you know, I would want to, as a council, if we were to contract with ABC billboards, I would want, you know, I don't want, you know, pornography or anything crazy. No, I'm being serious.
Yeah,
Like-
no, I know you
Like,
are.
we would want some restrictions
We got
on what
restrictions
that
now
billboard.
on our
They're
lease.
heavily, we won't have to recreate or reinvent the wheel. They're heavily regulated. There's
Yes.
all kinds of stuff in place already.
Right.
It's very turnkey.
Yeah.
You know, you could try selling the naming rights to that wastewater treatment.
The what rings?
Naming rights to our wastewater treatment.
Oh, that would be
Because,
good.
you know, it might be.
There goes my
idea.
Yes.
Okay, does that give you enough information? No?
No. So, back to, so, the billboards that are coming up, you know, some of them are gonna expire.
September.
Most of them read 60 days prior, we gotta let them know whether we're going to terminate them.
Correct.
I guess it reads, or if we're gonna renew them, basically. So, do we want, now, the only way we can renew them is that we gotta get permission from GHI, and we
We're not
can only do a
renewing them.
year at a time. We're
So
not-
I'm gonna make a motion.
That's
Oh, no,
that's
we're
what I
not.
needed,
We don't need
okay.
them.
I don't think we're gonna need a motion.
I don't
What you
think
need
we're
to do
good.
is send them all a letter and say the land's been sold.
And here's your termination, that's what, that's the direction I need. I need to know if we're terminating them, and so I can let them all know that.
Yes.
Or, okay.
Yep.
I mean, because they'll then expire
Yep.
at their expiration.
Because technically, we can't make decisions on land we don't own.
Well.
No, but we can make
Or-
a decision on the billboard.
I would
We
say
do
with
reserve
the
that
lease
right in the
back
agreement. I know in
it's
the
written in
agreement
there,
it
so-
says
So I
that
just
we
wanted
have-
to clarify,
Right.
are we gonna let them terminate, or are we going to try to do year by year, which I'm not suggesting we do either. I think let them
Pass
terminate.
the
And then
baton
if we
to
do want to
GHI.
look like,
Yeah,
look at billboards on future, look at something on our land and
Correct.
digital, I'm sure, whatnot. So that's the
Perfect.
direction I needed, so.
Hey, if I know
We're gonna
somebody
let
that owns a
Lisa's
billboard company, can I have them reach out to you for discussions about the Laguna
Absolutely,
land?
so if we can
Okay.
gather some information.
Okay.
yeah.
you got what you need, clear as mud?
No, that is what I needed. I need to know what to do with these current leases, so perfect.
It was.
Before I get chippy again, let's keep moving. How's that sound? Next item on the agenda is to set the budget date for the 2027 budget meeting. Teresa's boiled this down for us. I think we take her oh yeah, that was a couple things she sent out. Did you respond to the one doodle?
I think so.
The date she's recommending is August 26th, which is a Wednesday night, last Wednesday of the month. I like that. How's everybody else feel?
So what's the proposal here?
This is the night we do our budget.
No, on what day though?
August 26th, it's a Wednesday. There's a map, there's a calendar right down below, right there. You
I
go.
won't
2
have
weeks.
levy information until after the 15th.
You're on
So we
vacation?
gotta do it
I'm
after
taking a 2-week.
15th.
I always do at the end of August, because that's when all the
Boy.
public school kids go to school and we go on our vacation.
I would say go.
Then, so
You don't
at
want
the
me here during
15th,
budget,
and then
do
we
you?
can look at the 17th.
You don't want to hear all my no
I didn't want to
votes.
say that
You don't
out
want to hear all
loud.
my no votes.
I didn't say it out
I'm
loud.
gonna phone in, that's what I'm doing.
Well, I think the phone's gonna be busy that night.
I mean, we can look at the 17th or the 19th, we'll just have back-to-back meetings that week.
Yes.
Just like this week, but
Any of them work for me.
like I say, 17th, 19th, or 26th.
17th works, 19th does not,
I'm a no on
26th.
that, also the 19th.
I'm a yes on the 17th, I'm a no on anything after that, because we're.
Let's do the 17th, then we'll have back-to-backs, just like we did this week.
How are you, Daryl?
Daryl, you all right?
He's retired, of course he's all right.
We on vacation?
Then he's actually really,
He goes to Italy and stuff.
17th is good.
17th,
17th, what time do you wanna do? around?
6 PM for
Noon.
budget.
noon?
That works for me. Sure, it's good for,
What day is it, 17th, is that
It's a Monday.
that's a Monday.
Noon would be awesome, but I'm pretty confident most people can't make that work.
I could.
We're gonna have to increase our pay. We're gonna start meeting at noon.
Wait, Michelle
Cut
can
into
make it
your
work,
work.
Daryl can make it work, Travis, I know you can make it, Arvin.
Let's go,
Here's my question, can you make it work? You're still on the clock.
well, I would never.
are you guys okay with 6 or 6:30? A little earlier?
Oh, I was serious about noon.
Yeah.
6,
I'll be honest, I'm on a fixed income and it's directly tied to, it's fixed to how much I work.
6:30?
Then you have to work late on Monday, okay?
6:30?
Work late.
6:30, sure.
6:30 on the 17th.
That's fine.
Someone wanna make a motion for that?
Motion,
just so
somebody
it's
make a motion
official,
for
we
that.
can-
I'll make a motion to set the budget meeting for 2027, so it's a budget for 2027 for August 17th at 6:30 PM.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Carlson?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Keel?
Yes.
Parachek?
Yes.
Schilling?
Yes.
All right,
Okay, that would.
looks like we got through everything. Do we have anything for executive session?
It's nice having a bunch of retired folks.
We
Yeah,
have,
personnel.
You're close to, you're close enough.
we have executive session for personnel. What's the motion?
Motion to exit or enter into executive session for personnel.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we're good? Is that your official outfit, Keith?
It is. I call it a ninja outfit, but it's really pajamas.
Ninja.
I have to go to work.
Oh.
You look like you're in scrubs.
You work overnight?
Are
I
you?
do.
You are in scrubs.
Yeah, I am in scrubs. I'm on my way to work here.
We good?
Are you gonna be late?
Okay.
Are you gonna be late?
Any actions from the council?
Motion to offer candidate A up to the maximum amount discussed for the position at the wastewater treatment facility.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote. Carlson.
Yes.
Bullet.
No.
Keel.
Yes.
Horacek.
Yes.
Schilling.
Yes.
All right? Any other business? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?